What if I tell you your brother absolutely wants to sleep with your wife? It's his earnest desire to your wife. And in some cases, your wife wants it too. But most times, honestly speaking, it's an assault. Now, this is the story of Judith. She's 24 and she's married. But her brother-in-law, her husband's elder brother, enjoys molesting her. He enjoys assaulting her. Right? So I'm going to be reading through the story as we do now these days, and let's dive in. If it's your first time here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Right? You'll be needing stories like this for educational and awareness purpose. Some people don't know stuff like this happens to their family, but when you come across videos like this, when you share this video and they come across it, trust me, they'll be more aware. Now, Judith was married. She believed she was safe in her husband's home, but the person who would hurt her ate dinner at the same table every night. This is not a story about a stranger in the dark. This is a story about fear inside the family. Now let's talk about the marriage itself. Now, Judith was 24 when she got married. She wore white. She smiled in every photograph. She thought her life was just beginning. Marcus was everything she wanted in a husband. Hardworking, ambitious, kind. He worked long hours at the construction company. Sometimes 12-hour days, right? Sometimes longer. But Judith didn't mind. She was building a home. She was building a future. What she didn't know was that she wasn't just marrying Marcus. She was married into a family structure she didn't fully understand. Marcus' older brother, Derek, lived in the same house, the family home. 3 generations had lived there. It was tradition, right? Marcus explained. Derek was the elder. He was respected. He made the major decisions. And Judith, she was the new wife, the outsider trying to fit in. She wanted to be a good wife, a good daughter-in-law. So she smiled, she cooked, she cleaned, she never complained. But Derek noticed her. More than a brother-in-law should. He wanted her when she moved to the house. Okay, sorry. He watched her when she moved through the house. His eyes followed her. When she bent down to pick something up, when she reached for something on a high shelf, when she walked past him in the hallway. At first, Judith told herself she was imagining it. His family, she thought. He's just there. Okay, let's proceed. But the comments started. Small ones. About her dress, about her body, about how lucky Marcus was. Okay, sorry. The comments started, right? About her dress, about her body, about how lucky Marcus was. Marcus would laugh. That's just Derek, he would say. He's always been like that. And Judith would force a smile because she didn't want to cause problems. She didn't want to be difficult. She told herself she was overthinking. Now let's talk about the first line crossed, right? Now these details, these are the details we are able to gather regarding this case. So, like I said, these stories are for educational and awareness purpose. It happened on a Friday. Marcus was working late again. Derek said he needed help moving something in the storage room, heavy boxes. Judith hesitated, but what could she say? It was family. They live in the same house, so she went. The storage room was at the back of the house, small, poorly lit. Derek stood too close. She could feel his breath on her neck. His hand brushed her waist. Not an accident. Deliberate. Deliberate. Slow. Judith froze. Her body locked. Her mind screamed at her to move, to push him away, to run. But she couldn't. She just froze. Now, this aspect happens to most victims. right? When survivors tell you their story, most times they will tell you they just couldn't move, they just couldn't do anything. Freezing is almost a natural response to panic, to shock, right? When the body senses danger, it doesn't always fight, it doesn't always flee. Take note. Sometimes it freezes. It's a survival response, exactly. Okay, the brain shuts down movements to access the threat. Judith's brain was screaming, but her body wouldn't listen. Derek's hand moved. She felt it. She felt everything. And then he stepped back, smiled. Thanks for the help, he said, like nothing happened. Judith stood there, shaking, confused. What just happened? Right? At this point, she was questioning herself. Did that really happen? Maybe it was a mistake, she told herself. Maybe he didn't mean it that way. Maybe she was overreacting. So she said nothing. She went to the kitchen, she made dinner, she set the table, and when Marcus came home, she kissed him and pretended everything was fine. Now let's talk about how the pattern began. After the night, things changed. Derek became bolder. Exactly. Her silence made him bold, right? When it's like testing the waters. When he tested the water and he realized she didn't see anything, she didn't tell anybody, she didn't react, he will feel welcomed. He will feel okay, probably she wants it too. So Derek became bolder. When Marcus left for work, Derek would find reasons to be near Judith. He would walk into the kitchen when she was cooking, stand behind her, too close. He would comment on what she was wearing, always with a smile, right? Always with that look in his eyes. Judith started avoiding him. She would wait until she heard his bedroom door close before leaving her room. She would lock the bathroom door, even during the day. She changed her routines. She stopped wearing certain clothes. She tried to never be alone with him. But Derek always found a way. He knew Marcus's schedule. Of course, he is his brother. And as a family, in their family, they live together 3 generations. So he knows his brother's schedule. Or his brother's schedule. Right? Okay, where am I? Let's proceed. He knew when Judith would be alone, and he used it. The touching became more frequent. A hand on her shoulder when he passed her in the hallway, his fingers grazing her arm when he handed her something, his leg pressing against hers under the dinner table, and the words, "You look good today, Judith. Marcus is a lucky man. If you were my wife." Each time, Judith felt sad. But she didn't scream. She didn't tell anyone because Derek had always planted the seeds. "Don't make this awkward," he would whisper. "Don't ruin your marriage over nothing. Marcus would never believe you anyway. And family, who do you think he would choose?" Fear moved into that house and it never left. He planted fear, he planted panic, he planted doubt, right? Judith started doubting herself and started doubting her husband, started doubting if anyone would believe her. And these are traits of most victims. Most victims panic. Most victims are scared. Most survivors they doubt if anyone would believe them, right? And these predators, they use that as an advantage most times. Now let's talk about the emotional prison. Judith couldn't sleep. She would lie awake at night, listening for footsteps, listening for Derek's door to open, listening to any sign that he was coming. She couldn't tell Marcus. How could she? Right? Derek was his brother, his blood. They would grown up together. They shared everything. What would Marcus say? Would he believe her? Or would he think she was lying? Would he think she was trying to cause problems? Would he defend Derek? The thought of Marcus defending Derek made Judith feel sick. So she stayed silent. She stayed silent. And the silence grew heavier. Every day, Judith put on a mask. She smiled at the family gatherings. She laughed at Derek's joke. She pretended everything was normal. But inside, she was dying. She was scared of Derek, but she was also scared of the truth. Because telling the truth would destroy everything, her marriage, her home, her family. So she carried the weight alone. She stopped eating properly. She lost weight. Dark circles formed under her eyes. Marcus noticed. Are you okay? He would ask. I'm fine. She would lie. Right? Exactly. Just tired because she wasn't fine. Okay, sorry. She would say I'm fine, just tired, but she wasn't fine. She was trapped in a house with a man who was hurting her, trapped in a marriage where she couldn't speak, trapped in a silence that was slowly killing her. This is why victims stay silent. It's not weakness, it's survival. It's the calculation of risk. It's the fear that speaking will make things worse. Because sometimes the truth doesn't set you free. Sometimes it just makes you more alone. Right? Okay. Before we go deeper, please tell us in the comments where you are watching from. I really want to know how far these stories travel, because apart from it encouraging me, it makes me know that there are people out there taking note of these signs. There are people out there listening to these stories, and they are engaging, and they are learning, they are being educated. So just tell us where you are watching from. We really want to hear from you. Okay, if you are new here, please click on the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Now let's talk about warning signs others missed. People around Judith started to notice small things. A neighbor saw her standing outside one afternoon, just standing, staring into the space. You okay, honey? The neighbor asked. Judith snapped out of it. Oh yes, I'm fine. Just thinking. But her hands were shaking. Her friend Sarah called one day. You haven't been answering my calls, Sarah said. I've been busy, Judith lied. Are you sure you're okay? You sound different. I'm fine, Sarah. Really? But she wasn't, and Sarah knew it. Even Marcus started to notice. Judith was distant. She didn't laugh anymore. She barely spoke at dinner. She flinched when he touched her. What's wrong? Marcus asked one night. Nothing, Judith said, but her eyes told a different story. Marcus thought maybe she was stressed. Maybe she missed her family. Maybe she was adjusting to married life. He didn't think about Derek. Why would he? Derek was his brother. Derek had lived in that house his whole life. Derek was family. Meanwhile, Derek grew bolder. He would touch Judith in front of Marcus. Quick touches. A pat on the back, a hand on her shoulder. Marcus never noticed, or maybe he did, and chose not to see, because seeing would mean comforting something he wasn't ready to face. The silence was protecting the wrong person. Now let's talk about the breaking point. It was a Wednesday morning. Judith woke up and couldn't get out of bed. Her body felt heavy, like she was drowning. Marcus had already left for work. Derek was in the house. Judith could hear him moving around downstairs, and she panicked. You know, Derek had planted panic in her, so I think it's almost a natural response for her these days. Sad, really sad. Her chest tightened, her breath quickened. She couldn't breathe. She was having a panic attack. Her hands went numb, her visions blurred. She tried to call for help, but no one came out. Hours later, Sarah found her. Sarah had stopped by because Judith didn't answer her text. The front door was unlocked. Sarah walked in and found Judith on the bedroom floor, shaking, pale, barely conscious. Sarah rushed her to the hospital. The doctors ran tests. Physically, Judith was okay, but emotionally, she was breaking. A doctor sat with Judith in the hospital room. Do you feel safe at home? I love this doctor. This is the second time a doctor is interfering, or a doctor is actually the reason why a survivor spoke. Doctors don't just treat your body. All right. A good doctor communicates with your soul, because sometimes it is not actually what we eat that's eating us up. Most times it may be because we lack peace. There is anxiety. There is a deep concern more than a physical illness, right? So, like I said, physically Judith was okay, but emotionally she was breaking. A doctor sat with Judith in the hospital and asked, do you feel safe at home? The doctor asked gently. Long pause. Judith's eyes filled with tears. For the first time, someone asked the right question, and Judith couldn't hold it anymore. She broke down. The words came out pouring. Everything. Derek, the touching, the threats, the fear, the silence, all of it. The doctor listened. Then called a social worker. That day, Judith's life changed. Not because the abuse stopped, but because she finally spoke. If you're a survivor out there, you are watching this video and you feel the need to say something, you most likely don't have to speak with your parents, right? You most likely don't have to tell your husband if your case is similar to this. In fact, most times or sometimes, go out, speak to a stranger, tell a stranger, right? Go to a therapist, a social worker in this case, or even your family doctor. Just tell them, I have something to tell you. All right. You necessarily may not have the courage to speak out or to tell your families, right? Your parents, your friends, because you may have this doubt that they won't believe you, or you have this fear of probably you are going to break the family bond or destroy the family. You are not the one destroying the family. They are. Those predictors actually destroy the family the day they decided to abuse you. So I hope this video helps you. Pick up your courage. All right, say something, tell someone. Let's proceed. The truth comes out, right? The hospital filed the report. Authorities were contacted. Marcus was called. He arrived at the hospital confused, worried. The social worker sat him down. Your wife has disclosed abuse, the social worker said. Abuse? Marcus' face went pale. By who? By your brother, Derek. Marcus' word stopped. That's not possible. He stammered. Derek wouldn't. But the social worker showed him the report, the details, the timeline. Marcus felt sick. He called Derek. Did you touch my wife? Marcus demanded. What? No, she's lying, Marcus. She's making this up. Why would she make this up? I don't know. Maybe she's trying to break up this family. Maybe she wants attention. You know how women are. Marcus hung up. His hands were shaking. He didn't know what to believe, his wife or his brother. The family got involved. Marcus' parents called. You can't let her destroy this family. His mother said, Derek is your blood. Think about the family name. Emotional blackmail. Is she the one destroying the family or Derek? His father added, do you really want people talking? The pressure was immense. Choose Judith or choose family. But Judith already made her choice. She wasn't going back to that house. Judith had escaped the abuse, but she had entered a battle. Now, expect this reaction if you're a survivor. Your family may not react like this. They may believe you instantly and get the predator arrested or disciplined. Right? They may take action in your favor. But just know that not everyone will believe you. And you don't even need everyone to believe you. In life, you have friends and foes. You can't just have friends. You can't just have fools. All right. So take note. An investigation began. Judith gave her statement to the police, then to a detective, then to a counselor. Each time she had to relive it. Each word felt like a knife. But she kept going because she knew the truth, and the truth mattered. Derek denied everything. She is unstable, she told the police. She's making it up. But investigators found inconsistencies in his story. They talked to neighbors. They talked to Judith's friend Sarah. They talked to the hospital staff. Slowly, a picture emerged, a pattern of control, of manipulation, of abuse. Derek's control was gone. He could no longer intimidate Judith. He could no longer use the family to silence her. Marcus had to make a decision, and after weeks of agonizing, he chose Judith. He chose his wife. I'm a Christian, and according to the scripture, the Bible said, "Then shall a man leave his father and cling unto a woman." Right? I think that's how it goes. It's been a long time I read my Bible. Sorry. Let's proceed. He chose Judith. It wasn't easy. His family was furious. They accused him of betraying Derek, of choosing an outsider over blood. Your wife, an outsider. You call my wife an outsider. Okay, he said it wasn't easy. His family was furious. They accused him of betraying Derek or choosing an outsider over blood. But Marcus had seen the truth. He would see the fear in Judith's eyes. He would see the way she flinched, and he couldn't unsee it. He filed for a restraining order against Derek. He moved out of the family home with Judith, and for the first time in months, Judith felt like she could breathe. Now, today, Judith is healing slowly. She's in therapy. She's learning to trust again. She's learning that what happened wasn't her fault. Marcus is healing too. He struggles with guilt for not seeing it, guilt for not protecting her, guilt for defending Derek when Judith needed him most. But they are healing together, building a new life away from shadows of that house. Judith lost her peace, but she found her voice, and that voice stopped the silence. The investigation is still ongoing. Derek may face charges, he may not. The legal system is complicated, but Judith doesn't regret speaking up because her silence was killing her, and her voice gave her life back. Think about Judith's story. Could you have seen the signs? Would you have believed her, or would you have dismissed it as a family drama? Tell me in the comments. If you were Marcus or you are part of that family, whose side will you be on? Because actually, this case has not been concluded. Derek has not been charged or anything. The investigation is still ongoing, but I decided to cover the story because it's important, and because for me, I believe Judith. After I did my research and everything, I saw no reason why Judith would make things up or make this up. I don't know if you get me now. So tell me in the comments, what do you think? Was she lying? Is she lying? I know I wouldn't say people can't make things up. All right, I wouldn't say such. But why would she make this up? Why? The patterns were there. All right. Although when the investigation is done and Derek is being charged, I will let you know. Okay. Thanks for watching once again. Please don't forget to subscribe. All right. We are hoping to get to 100k subscribers before the end of 2026, and with your help, we can do that. Please share this video and wait for the next one. We are covering an interesting story next, and trust me, you wouldn't want to miss it. Thank you. God bless.